We'll see how far this goes. That's a good LUT. I really didn't have a creative way to start this off, so I'm just gonna be sitting down because my legs are feeling kind of broken after this challenge and really was the least fun thing I've done in a long time. All 6 of you who clicked on this video are probably interested in the title, me doing 35 squats per day for the past 50 days. And a lot of y'all are probably asking, did it actually do anything? Well, the long and short of it is, you have to wait until the end of the video to actually find out. That's what we'll talk about today. My most recent challenge, we're gonna do 35 air squats per day for 50 days to see if adding in squats into your daily routine is really gonna be a super beneficial thing for you, or is it really just gonna lead to more fatigue, more mental frustration, and just an overall lack of self-confidence and the desire to do anything else other than sit on the couch afterwards? Long story short, when I went into this, I really thought it might not be that bad. I thought this would be kind of a interesting challenge to do, and since the majority of us in the fitness community, I'm not even part of the fitness community. Who am I kidding? The majority of people in the fitness community make it almost like a professional occupation to skip leg day and forget about doing squats. I thought this might be a great thing to incorporate in my routine and see if I can actually get some gains, because I, like most people, have also been dodging those calls from squats late at night.
Yeah. Wow.
Doing these squats, I knew I had to do good form if I was gonna see any results at all. And for the first 2 weeks, things were going pretty well. I was having the additional aches and pains that normally come with starting up a new routine and a new exercise regime, but it was not something that I had really accounted for, in that my hips were really killing me. For some reason, I thought I had flexible hips beforehand. I mean, generally speaking, I couldn't do a squat, but I could kick fairly high off the ground. But I didn't realize that my hips would hurt as bad as they did. And it wasn't really my adductors or abductors that were hurting, it was the joint itself seemed very tight and not wanting to move. It didn't want to allow the ball of the bone in my hip socket to rotate properly. And when it did, it kind of seemed like it popped. I thought this was kind of, just normal at the beginning and it would go away, but it never really did. As we went on in this challenge, I started realizing it was more and more difficult to do the squats with proper form, because I was having to fight the tension in my hips while also doing the squat. I was doing them with body weight, not with weights, so I think we're kind of okay. However, I'm going to demonstrate now the proper way to do a air squat. And, oh, you can't see me anymore. Hi. I'll look at this camera now. This camera can see me. One thing that many people get wrong is that when they're doing the squat, they turn it sort of into an amalgamation of a Romanian deadlift and a squat, where as they're going down, their butt tends to go out like that, and then you kind of rock back on your heels, and then your hands have to be out forward to stabilize you, and that's not the way you're supposed to do a squat. The proper way you're supposed to do a squat is you can stand here. Now you can do this, if you're flexible enough, with your feet shoulder width apart. If I was to do this, trying to stay as upright as possible, right? My butt and my back should go straight down in a straight line. I'm not flexible really enough to do that, and that was what I realized in my hips. Who's calling me? I can talk to you later. I found is better for me with my limited hip mobility. I'm gonna stand shoulder width apart. I'm gonna take my feet, step them a little bit wider than shoulder width, then a little bit more. I'm gonna rotate my toes outwards. I'm gonna look straight ahead. I wanna keep my chest up, my shoulders back, and I'm gonna drop down into that squat and then come up. Now, a lot of people say you should go ass to grass, right? Where you put your ass in the grass. I do not like going ass to grass because of my hips. Can you get a little more gains out of that? Maybe. I'll squat down here so y'all can see. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, you are certainly getting a deeper squat, so the muscle is stretching more. However, if it's hurting your hips at the end of the day, the gains you're gonna get in your quads are really not gonna be worth it. So what I would do is simply go and try and break 90 degrees. Doesn't have to be a huge break, just a small break where I'm here, I'm gonna squat, boom, I've broken 90 degrees, and then I come back up, and then down, and then come back up. You should feel it in your glutes and in your quads, because that is the primary muscles that the squat is going to be working. You're not really gonna feel it in your hamstrings much, and you shouldn't. If you're feeling it in your hamstrings, what it probably means is that you're bending forward too much on your squat, and it's engaging the hamstrings more to try and keep your chest from falling forward. So anyway, as we're continuing on this challenge, about halfway through, I think things are going pretty well, and things continue to progress in a meaningful way. Although I really feel like by about day 30, I've capped out on any improvements in my muscular endurance or ability when it comes to the squats. Now, one thing I was doing that was incredibly detrimental, I think, to this entire experiment was the majority of the time I was doing these squats at like 11 p.m., 12 a.m., because that's really the only time I have available to do a lot of this if I'm not just gonna quickly grab it on my phone, because I had to film. If I didn't have to film, probably would be able to get this done relatively quickly. I was realizing it was taking me like upwards of 5 minutes to do these squats. Now I know 5 minutes doesn't sound like a ton of time, but when you're kind of someone who is strapped for time, and a big reason that I'm making this YouTube channel or even these videos is trying to communicate that there are easy ways to incorporate physical activity into your daily life. The fact that you gotta now devote 5 minutes at least, because you're looking at least a minute for 35 squats if you're trying to like gain anything from them. If you're just doing them really quickly, it becomes a cardio exercise, and like, who likes cardio anyway? If you're trying to do them for actual benefit, like muscular endurance or muscular growth, you have to do them with a little bit of a slower tempo so that the muscle is under stress longer. So it takes at least a minute to do 35 squats. Maybe a minute 15 if you're like kind of pushing that envelope. Now have to do another like at least minute beforehand of kind of like stretching and warming up. And then you have to do at least like 2 to 3 minutes after of stretching, so that the rest of the week you're not building up lactic acid every time you do these exercises, and your muscles just becoming more and more and more tight as you're going about your day. And so that's something I found out with these squats, is the longer this challenge went on, the more and more and more fatigued and just tight my legs got unless I did a dedicated day of stretching. Do I think that's incredibly important and something you should do? Yes. Do I know how to incorporate that into your day? No.
Are you serious?
I've got no clue how to find the time to do all of the things that people keep telling us to do. Like, we're normal people. We don't have the same time that you have as a fitness influencer to meal prep everything on Sunday, and then to do like a day of stretching and take an hour to go on a walk each day. So at the end of this challenge, what did I learn? Well, I think squatting is incredibly important. However, I don't think squats are something that we should do every single day unless you're trying to go for bodybuilding or powerlifting and you're forming your life around one of those goals. I think if every other day you did 35 air squats outside of your regular routine, that would be enough benefit for you as a regular person to see improvements in your life. It's something we do naturally as people. We squat down to pick up our phone off the ground. We squat down to, dust the floor. We squat down in the woods to take it. Being able to do squats is important. However, it's not gonna be much of a benefit to you if you're constantly fatiguing your legs like this. It's just not really a benefit that I can promote. It's just not worth all the extra physical strain and mental strain you're putting on yourself. So I really appreciate everyone who watched this video. I really appreciate all the support I've gotten throughout these challenges. I'm gonna take a quick break from the challenges a little bit to kind of reassess where I want to go, what I want to do. But thank you everyone again for your support. If you have an idea for a video in the future, please leave it in the comments below. And I'll see y'all next time.